Hello and welcome to the Games Lift Graduation 2022. Welcome to our guests here at VRG headquarters in Hamburg and to all viewers of our stream. Also welcome to the Ministry of Culture and Media Hamburg and especially to the media office. And of course a special welcome to the mentors and network, the guests from the games industry, the alumni from the 2 previous iterations for Games Lift, and of course, the 15 participants of Games Lift 2022. I am Amanda.
And I'm Maggie, and the 2 of us are the project managers who were running the Games Lift Incubator for the past 3 months, and we will be your hosts for the night. Over the past 3 months, we accompanied 15 people, 5 teams, game developer teams, through the incubator program. They received funding of 15,000 euros. We provided office space and a co-working space. And most importantly, we set up a workshop and mentoring program to help them bring their game projects to the next level. And tonight, we are here to see what they achieved and, of course, to celebrate their achievements with them, online and offline. So if you're watching at home tonight on the live stream, we also set up a way for you to participate. You will see in the chat a link to an online mural board where you will find some information about our 5 teams, but also you can leave messages yourself. So a message of encouragement, or if you like the game, just leave them a note. I know they will appreciate it very much. Before we head to the presentations, we're going to show a short recap of Games Lift 2022. But first of all, I'd like to introduce Dennis Schuby, our head of Game City Hamburg, for a few words.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, hi, my name is Dennis Schuby. I'm the head of Game City Hamburg. Also welcome from my side to tonight's Games Lift graduation. And yeah, Game City Hamburg is an initiative for supporting the games industry in town. And we are doing this for almost 2 decades. And what we do is that we have several funding programs, like our prototype funding. Our Games Lift Incubator is one of the big programs each year since 2020. And also what we are is that Game City Hamburg, we are part of the Hamburg Kreativgesellschaft. And Hamburg Kreativgesellschaft is responsible in Hamburg for supporting all creative industries. And with the Kreativgesellschaft comes lots of services. For example, we also have locations here in town. We are providing for creative industries. We are renting them. We are renting the locations to them. Also, this VR headquarter here is rented by the Hamburg Kreativgesellschaft. And our partners like Next Media also has several incubator programs like Media Lift, and also for the music industry, Music Works is a sister incubator of us. But tonight it's all about games. And so we are happy to celebrate what 5 teams from Hamburg achieved over the last 3 months. And so the first thing that they achieved is that they really succeeded with their pitches against other games. So they got into our incubation program, and so they had an idea in the beginning. But when you can say one thing for the games industry, and also applies for other creative industries, is that an idea is only worth as much as its execution. So when we had this idea of the 5 teams in the beginning, doing the Games Lift Incubator Program, we are asking a lot of questions in direction of the teams. So we want to know, is the core gameplay loop fun? What is the game hook? And also, do you have any idea how to bring it to market? And so over the course of the last 3 months, our teams worked with our mentors, with our network, and also with the Game City Hamburg team to have answers on these questions. So all teams you will witness tonight, they not only have an idea, they have great teams, and also they have a plan for what they will be up to in the next cycles of development. And so at this point, I'm very looking forward to what they have achieved and also what they can share tonight with us. And so I only want to say in direction of the teams, please keep in mind that whenever you reach out to the Game City network and also to our mentors, you will get an answer. And yeah, keep this idea of simply reaching out to other games industry peers if you have any kind of questions. And we are here for support. And so at this point, fingers crossed for your presentations. And success with your games later on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, as I mentioned before we head into the presentations, a few impressions of Games Lift. 3 very intensive and eventful months lie behind our teams, and to give everyone who wasn't part of it a quick impression of what it can look like to be part of the Games Lift Incubator Program, we prepared a very small video for you.
Hey everyone, Simon Carlos here from Game Discover Co. Just wanted to say that I really enjoyed giving my presentation on Game Hook to all of you, and also talking about your various game hooks and working them out with you. I think understanding how game hooks work is really important, and I'm confident that with the help of me and all of your colleagues, you're going to do a real good job in pitching your game to the market. So congratulations and good luck from here.
It was a pleasure working with you. You dealt with complexity, supported each other, and as a creator, you showed active love for what you do. And this is what really matters. All the best for your team, all the best for your game. Take care.
So let's get a bit further into the recap of the past 3 months and look back what happened in the incubator. After the application phase, where all the teams had to submit their pitch decks, our awarding committee had to decide which team will make it into the incubator. The 5 chosen teams started off at our kickoff on September 12, where they had to, get the chance to get to know everyone and to connect with our mentors from Hamburg. They also moved into a co-working space provided by us, where they could use their shared desks and meeting rooms to focus on their projects for 3 months in a code working center in the center of Hamburg. On September 14 and 15, the teams had their first workshops with Michael Schieben, where they used a business canvas method called Product Field to gain different perspectives on their projects and to identify the biggest challenges. Also, they had a workshop with Heather Chandler, a former senior producer for Fortnite, where they learned the basics for producing and project management. Later in the program, they got deeper into detail and perfected their game hook with Simon Carlos, had a 3-day pitch training with Steffen Rühl, did a basic market analysis for the game with Cassia Curran, had a game art workshop with Michael Teske, a law workshop with Christian Rauder, and many, many more. We are really happy that our teams could not only learn a lot from the workshops, but also from our network and mentors, who shared their knowledge and gave great advice. At this point, I'd like to give a huge thank you to everyone involved and hope you keep in touch with our 5 teams after the incubator. Overall, in these 3 months, we had 15 workshops, 5 pitch and networking events, and over 30 mentors. We came a long way. We are now at the graduation and excited to hear from the 5 teams themselves what they have achieved in the Games Lift Incubator.
Yes, and we'll start with the team who managed to charm all of us, including the awarding committee, right from the start with their main character. When you see their artwork and their animations, you would not think that this is actually their very first game. They come packed with experiences from other media industries. And we at Game City are very happy that those 3 very creative heads decided to take a shot at making games. Their project is called as their company about cannons and sparrows, and here tonight are Marty, Niko, and Daniel, who will present the game to us.
Yeah, thanks for the kind introduction, Maggie. Hi, everybody. My name is Daniel, and I'm here tonight, as she already said, with my colleagues Martin and Niko. And we are very happy to present our game about cannons and sparrows. So the name comes from the German saying to shoot with cannons and sparrows, or as the English version goes, to crack a nut with a sledgehammer, which basically means you're using way stronger and pointless measures than really necessary to solve a problem, or in other words, to waste resources. So let's kick things off by watching our teaser. So what kind of game is it, and what's the story behind it? It's going to be a metroidvania puzzle platformer with about 4 to 5 hours of linear story-driven gameplay and an extra 10 hours of exploration and side quests. The game is set in a world where evil cannons destroy a forest and plunder all its resources, and our little hero, this cannon, hatches out from a bird's egg, doesn't really know what it is, and doesn't know it can shoot, and it has the wits of a sparrow. So he is the key to rebalance the world. So off she goes in a journey of self-discovery, where she has to fight against all the evil cannons and solve complex puzzles and gains new movement all along the way. So yeah, our cannon is our main USP as well, and I assume everybody knows the problem, which even though it's an object, it gets all its charm and character by the way it actually moves. And that is the same is true for our cannon as well, which by nature is made to shoot, but because it can't, it has to find other ways to battle and overcome obstacles, which makes it somewhat charming and even likable, even though it's a cannon, and also acts as a metaphor for our underlying storyline. So let's see her in action in a gameplay demo. All right, so the state we are at right now is that we are collaborating with a composer who's doing a bespoke soundtrack for the game, which you can hear in the background. And visually, our approach is very story-driven. So right now we are seeing a part we call the Rotten Woods, which is scattered full of old cannon remnants, hinting at a fight which happened a long, long time ago. And we are currently experimenting with lighting, textures, scale and proportions, the integration of the cannon into the environment. And for that, we are using a mix of custom-made assets and customized quixel props to quickly get some set tracing done. But we are at the same time working on a unique visual identity. So, as you can see right now, we have implemented the first movement mechanics of the character, which is running, jumping, double jumping, dashing, and it has a variety of strikes at hand it can use, and we implemented something which we call pull in and blast. So what you can do is pull objects in and blast them away to either destroy walls, as you can see here, or you can blast them up upwards to actually destroy other stuff, or you can even blast yourself upwards to reach other heights. But of course, there are many more skills you can learn along the way, which brings me to our skill tree, which we call the fruits of empathy. And you can reap those fruits by actually helping friendly NPCs along your journey. So the skills the player gets are directly connected to the cannon's body. So it can use, for instance, its wooden frame as wings to hover and fly and even dash, as you have just seen in the gameplay demo. And it can use its pipe for attacks or to blast things off. And there are many more skills. One we are planning to do is integrating a fuse, which, when lit, can guide the little cannon through darker parts of the forest. It could usually not see in, and which will also be able to use as a whip to attack enemies. And all those additional skills will obviously impact the gameplay significantly and will allow the player to solve more complex puzzles and defeat stronger enemies, and even return to parts of the game the player has been before and complete side quests. We are planning at the moment to spin our story around 4 worlds. So the first one being the Sanctuary, where everything starts, which is a pristine, lush, and almost magic part of the forest. And then we have the Rotten Woods we have just seen in the gameplay demo, which is a bit more moody and more dangerous. And then we have the Wastelands, which is a completely destroyed and burned down part of the forest, which is situated right next to the Dark Fortress, where the evil cannons live and where the final and epic battle is going to take place. So this is the game in a nutshell, and a few words to the incubator program. First of all, thanks to the Game City Hamburg team and all the mentors. We had an amazing 3 months, and we learned a lot of things which enabled us to be at the point we are right now. So we have 3 main takeaways I would like to mention. We came into the program thinking we would do a pure puzzle platformer, and after a lot of workshops and talking to market analysts, we decided to do a metroidvania with a more combat-heavy gameplay. Then, because it's our first game, we didn't have any network in the gaming industry, and now we have connections to very experienced, knowledgeable experts from different areas, which gave us constructive and constant feedback the whole time, which really kept us motivated. And then the third point is the team synergy, which was really important for us. So we were lucky to meet Maxi from Team Metacore, who helped us develop our player character logic. All right, so what's going to happen next? After the incubator, which is pretty much now, we'll be start working on a prototype during the next year. For that, we have to expand our team by at least 1 programmer, and for that, we need some additional funding we're going to apply for. And when the prototype is done, we would love to get in touch with publishers who believe in the game and help us produce and publish it. And that's it. So we're really looking forward to keep pushing the game towards publishing, and hope you like it. And if you would like to talk to us after all the presentations and have a beer together, please approach us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for your presentation, and we also welcome Niko and Marty to the stage. Congratulations to you as well. I saw a lot of smiling faces, I think, actually, during your teaser especially, and I think it works with the public as it worked with us. It's just an awesome character, and we're very much looking forward to the game, but I don't want to say too much because we do have someone from the group of mentors, and also he was also part of the awarding committee who would like to say a few words to you on a video.
Hi, my name is Ole. Congratulations to Daniel, Niko and Martin from About Cannons and Sparrows for graduating from the Games Lift Incubator 2022. Your graphic teaser and your visual storytelling was already amazing from the start, and in the last few weeks you did a great job in the workshops, actively reaching out for help, incorporating feedback and pushing your project vision forward. For your prototype, you even jumped right into using the Unreal Engine without fear and without previous dev experience. I think you're a great example of how a team with a lot of professional experience in visualization and animation can switch over to the games industry with the help of the Games Lift Incubator Program. I wish you all the best and lots of success for About Cannons and Sparrows in the future. Bye!
You can come in a minute. Yeah, thank you very much, Ole. I know he's watching tonight. Yeah, guys, just a few questions. I mentioned it before, the three of you have actually worked together for years, or I don't know, maybe even decades. But you've never made a game before, so what made you decide to switch into the games industry?
Yeah, well, interesting, because the whole game and the idea for the game is kind of part of the experience we made the last 20 years in the advertising industry. It was like, yeah, 20 years working for clients, pretending to burn for their project was kind of, I mean, 20 years is a lot of time, and it was simply time to do something for ourselves. So this was the main reason to do it. Beside the fact that we are gamers since the very beginning. So I started with the Pong area in the early 80s, end of the 70s. So it was a step we had to take. Yeah.
I guess Pong was not really the inspiration, but were there any specific games that were inspiration for About Cannons and Sparrows?
For Cannons and Sparrows, yeah, it changes a lot. I mean, the first. I mean, I'm an old Chris Roberts fanboy, so but I can't say that this has something to do with Wing Commander. But but obviously we love story-driven games, so like Inside or Ori. So Ori was a great inspiration, obviously. Yeah.
All right. We're very much looking forward to the game.
Thank you.
All of you, feel free to ask any questions later. But for now, thanks very much, team About Cannons and Sparrows.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Next up is Team Marty, who are working on the game Babsi Bullet. André and René are cousins. After developing their first game, Marty McFart, together, they met Christian at the Indie Treff here in Hamburg and immediately connected. They had to tackle several challenges in the incubator and always overcame them quickly with creativity and persistence, which shows the love for their project. René will now show you what the game is about.
Hi, oh my voice. Hi, I'm René from Team Marty. I'm responsible for concept and art, and today I want to introduce you into our game Babsi Bullet. And for that, we have a special guest here, Babsi herself. And yeah, Babsi, please tell a bit about you.
Hi, I'm Babsi Bullet, half bullet, half 12-year-old girl. How the hell did that happen? My mom's a cop. She took a bullet one day trying to stop a robbery. The bullet landed in her belly, entered a fertile egg, and mixed with her DNA. Since birth, I've been seen as the most dangerous person in the world, the ultimate weapon. That's why my government kept me locked away. One day, an alien planet reached Earth and threatened to plunge it into eternal darkness. As its last hope, the government released me and sent me off to kick some alien ass.
Yeah, thank you. That's the story. Now the game begins. Babsi, tell us a bit about the game, please.
Okay. Babsi Bullet is a hardcore 2D action game in the style of Mega Man or Cuphead, featuring endless respawning enemies and epic boss fights. So if you have a sadistic streak and floss with barbed wire, you're gonna love this game. Babsi Bullet is also ideal for casual gamers who appreciate unique designs and simple gameplay. Babsi Bullet is the best of both worlds. Intense 2D action with casual game mechanics, like a Candy Crush of death. That's ideal for touch screens. Leave your sneakers at home, buddy, 'cause I don't have any legs. Who needs jump and run when you can waste one enemy after the other by firing yourself through levels?
Looks easy, right? You couldn't be more wrong.
Firing in all directions like a gun-toting chimpanzee on steroids won't get you far. I can only move in a certain way, so you'll need brains instead. Kill smart by studying enemy behavior and use level designs to your advantage. On a map, you'll find tons of tough levels and even tougher bosses. And if that wasn't enough, you'll also find extra challenges and puzzles that unlock hidden areas and items.
Yeah, and this gives things a nice Metroidvania touch. That's right. Hashtag Metroidvania.
You know you love it.
Mm-hmm.
My journey takes me through hostile environments, including deserts, deep-sea forests, poisonous swamps, alien nests, and abandoned cities, all of which are occupied by enemies. Some levels even feature their own gameplay mechanics, like wind or teleporters. Thankfully, you can catch your breath in the espresso bars, malls, and wellness bars along the way. Only kidding. This is Babsi Bullet and not Charlie Chicken. Well, I guess that's it.
No, I think you've forgotten something, Babsi.
Oops, I didn't mention the epic multi-stage boss fights. Every time you think, how did I survive that? The next scumbag is waiting just around the corner. Best, you put your big girl pants on. Remember, you are their ultimate boss fight, not the other way round. To beat tougher obstacle, I can also morph into more kick-ass weapons. As a bomb, I can bounce and blow things up. As a torpedo, I can fly over gorges and blow things up. And as a rubber bullet, I can bounce off walls, shoot around corners, and, you guessed it, blow things up.
And in true Metroidvania style, you will need to unlock these items before you can use them.
Hey, I wasn't finished yet.
Sorry, Babsi.
Hell, just shut up.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, the game's simple mechanic is wrapped like an onion in several layers of complexity, guaranteed to bring a tear to your eye. Sounds like your cup of tea? Then let's make our way to the god-forsaken planet.
Yeah, thanks, Babsi. Now a word on our progress at Games Lift. We have a playable demo with core gameplay loop, and graphics and animations have replaced placeholders, and we've grown as a team. But our most valuable learning came from the professional market analysis and transformed the way we want to release Babsi Bullet and the structure of the game. We will abandon the paid premium mobile model we focused on, and most App Store users don't pay for games, and we don't want to create a free at first sight game loaded with devious payments, and I think as a little team we have no chance against big mobile publishers, by the way. So we are changing the strategy and the game somewhat. In future, we will refer to Babsi Bullet as an indie game that's playable on touch screens, not a mobile game. This would be ideal for video game subscription services like Apple Arcade. And we want to release it on Nintendo Switch and Steam, Switch being a popular place for indie gaming, and we can offer the game here for a more profitable price tag. And in step 2 or 3, the game will be available in app stores at different conditions. Easy to learn, mobile optimized, and with short levels and boss fights, our game is perfect for casual gamers. To appeal to indie gamers, those who spend on gaming, we've increased complexity without changing the simple core. Users can increase Babsi's skills, locate alternate level exits, and explore hidden areas on the map. And before the analysis, we planned a more linear game. Now we have a clearer, more interesting vision. Yeah, we've made great progress at Incubator, but what's next? Our next steps are to build a community and reactivate Team Marty accounts on Instagram and activate one on Discord and TikTok to connect with planned PR support, and we have loads of content to share now. We will start a little company and look for further funding. Game City prototype funding would be an option for us, integrating all mechanics like the skill items and some individual level mechanics and other stuff, controller support. We are also looking for publishers, especially streaming providers like Apple Arcade or Netflix. Mentors Jörg and Sasha inspired us to pitch for these platforms, and we hope to gain valuable insights in doing so. Yeah, we planned a release in 2024 or 2025, but for now, I say thank you for your attention. I say thank you to the Game City team. And yeah, if you want to stay in contact with us, if you like what we are doing, yeah, you will find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Thanks.
Thank you, René. Let's also welcome Christian and André to the stage to listen to a few words from someone who challenged you a lot in the Games Lift Incubator, but wishes you all the best.
Hi, I'm Cassia Curran, founder of Curran Games Agency and an expert on business development in the games industry. I'm delighted to congratulate Team Marty on finishing the Games Lift Incubator Program. I have huge respect for Team Marty and a genuine belief in the fantastic future that they have as a game studio, and here's why. So one of the key areas for indie game developers that so many studios struggle with is seeking out feedback and processing that feedback correctly, particularly negative feedback. Team Marty participated in a market analysis workshop that I performed, and I crushed a little bit of their dreams, but Team Marty responded. It just inspired them to work harder and to think smarter, and that kind of resilient spirit is exactly what you need to have in order to be successful as an indie game developer in a really competitive games market. So I'm wishing the best of luck for Team Marty on their release of Babsi Bullet, and really looking forward to the glittering future, I'm sure, with many critically and commercially successful games to come. Congratulations again.
Yeah, I can also only add that it was amazing to see you grow and to see how you refine your game. I have two questions actually for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Babsi Bullet has a beautiful and colorful art style. What are your inspirations for creating these cartoon-like characters and worlds?
As I was a child, it's a long time ago, I was fascinated by two Mega Drive titles, Earthworm Jim and Disney's Aladdin. Everybody knows this? Anybody knows these titles? Yeah. And of course, Cuphead. I'm a big fan. And yeah, also background art are really inspired by a cartoon series named Samurai Jack. And of course, everything from Cartoon Network.
So the other
I love cartoons.
The other question is, how do you find the balance between action and puzzle gameplay moments?
Okay, this is an interesting question. As we started with Babsi Bullet, we had an action game in mind, but we changed the mechanic of an action game, and now it becomes, suddenly it becomes a little bit a puzzle touch. It was a coincidence. I think it's not like a normal puzzle game because yeah, you have to think about it, but you can't think about long about what you're doing because you have react really quickly. And I think it's an action puzzle. And yes, and I think the boss fights are pure action.
Thank you so much for these insights, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
Each year, alongside the applications of teams of 3, 4, 2, 5 people, we also receive a lot of applications from solo developers. And Dennis mentioned it before, the awarding committee always takes a thorough look at any applicants, but for solo developers, they look even a little bit more closely, because it is a huge challenge to not only develop a game without a large team behind you, but to also go through the quite time-consuming incubator program. So they do take a very, very thorough look. And yeah, once in a while, a person comes along whose idea is so convincing, and their personality as well, that they leave no doubt that they're gonna do this by themselves, or at least start the journey by themselves. One of those people is Elin Meinecke, who's here tonight. She's working on a lovely game called Evergreen Garden. And yeah, Elin, the stage is yours.
So, thank you, Maggie. Is this on? Yes. All right. So, hi everyone. I'm Elin, and I'm developing Evergreen Garden. So, let me show you what this game is about. So, Evergreen Garden is a farm simulation RPG set in a hand-painted world in which you create a flourishing garden with the help of animals and insects. And I love gardening myself, and from my own experience, it's a lot of fun to put together your fields and learn about the different interactions between the plants and the environment. And but we do not live alone in this world. There are also a lot of animals and insects in the garden. So, for example, here we have some aphids and a potato beetle, in German Blattläuse und Kartoffelkäfer. And yeah, wait, what are these guys doing? Oh no, they are eating a potato plant I just planted. That's not very helpful. But in their defense, they don't make any difference between wild plants and cultivated vegetables. And this freshly sprouted potato plant is just very tasty. But we have to do something, because these insects can multiply quickly and soon weaken the plant and can cause considerable damage, and then there is not much left to harvest. Luckily, nature has a solution here, because there are also useful insects in the garden. For example, the larvae of ladybirds and hoverflies, in German Marienkäfer und Schwebfliege, to eat aphids. And there are plants like chervil and chives, in German Kerbel und Schnittlauch, who attract these insects. So it makes sense to put these plants and flowers next to your crops. So every crop you can grow in the game has one or more weaknesses. If you grow tomatoes, for example, they will soon be infested with nematodes and aphids. Because this is where the supporting plants come into play. Each has a property that helps protect the crops and ensure optimal growth. For example, they attract useful insects or are useful themselves. And in the game, these plants have an area around them that they protect. So you need to make sure to plant your crops in these special places. So another point worth mentioning is the art. All art assets are hand-painted, and this means, in this case, with acrylic paint on paper, and which are then digitized and built into the game, as you can see. So this colorful hand-painted look supports the cozy atmosphere of the game on the one hand, and the impression of handmade on the other. So the player sows a seed into the earth with his bare hands. So plants painted should also grow from it. And yeah, so let me show you what the game has made in the last 3 months. At the beginning, this game existed only as a concept on paper. And my microphone is working. now. I have to show the video again. Okay, so let me show you what progress this game has made in the last 3 months. So at the beginning, this game existed only as a concept on paper, and here you can now see some gameplay. And yeah, there are already some crops planted on the field, but they're not doing so well, so let's plant some supportive plants next to them to help them. So in the inventory, we have at the moment 2 different herbs. Each one protects against a different weakness, and which is indicated by color. And above is shown what areas they protect. So after planting the first herbs, the upper plant is now protected, but the other plants need another protection. And the challenge is to use the available patch in such a way that enough crops are grown, but they are also protected against all hungry insects. And so you have to puzzle together your fields to get a rich harvest. And by growing many different plants, the garden becomes more and more diverse, and you attract different animals and insects to your garden. So besides farming, there are many other things you can do. You can keep various animals on your farm. You can process the things you harvest. For example, you can turn herbs into medicine or pickle vegetables. And in addition, there's a game world that you can explore, and you can interact and build relationships with the villagers living nearby. So you can decide for yourself how to divide your time between the various daily tasks, but all mechanics will be in exchange with nature. So here's a quick overview. So this game is a 2D farming RPG focused on nature-based gardening and with puzzle elements, and it's currently developed for PC and will be released on Steam, and it's a single-player game. So thanks to the incubator, over the last 3 months, this project could grow. And at the beginning, as mentioned, there was only, this idea was only a concept on paper, and I was able to revise the concept and focus on the core aspects of the game, and focused on the farming mechanic. And for that, I started building a paper prototype, and the insights from this prototype went into the digital version. And I was able to expand my network by meeting people from various fields of the industry, and I learned about project management, pitching, and marketing. And so even if this project is still at the very beginning, it is already important to think about marketing. And for that, I have reworked my key visual, which now focuses more on the hand painting look. And what are the next steps? So I want to build a prototype with all mentioned features, and I want to apply for additional funding. I want to share the development process on social media to build up a community, and I want to release a playable demo at the end of 2024. So now is some time to say big thank you to the whole Game City Hamburg team, especially Amanda and Maggie, who were always there to help us, and also a big thanks to all the mentors and the other teams. It was really a lot of fun working with you. And if you have additional questions, you can ask me that later, or you can contact me. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Elin. And of course, also for you, we have someone who would like to say a few words on video. She was one of our mentors and also on the awarding committee. Her name is Mareike Ottrand, and here are her words. She likes the suspense, so. I can maybe say a couple more things about Mareike Ottrand. She has actually 2 jobs. She is a co-founder of Studio Fizbin, and she's also known to a lot of people who are in the incubator because she's also a professor at HAW Hamburg, the University of Applied Sciences, and very an awesome artist herself. So that's why we thought would make a great fit to complement Elin.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mareike. I was part of the Games Lift Incubator committee, and we picked all the lovely projects. A special good evening to all game developers. A special good evening to Elin. Finding a topic for a project is sometimes a big struggle. And sometimes a very tiny idea grows into a bigger vision. In your case, and in a deeper meaning, not just a vision about a game about plants. Evergreen Garden is a game about nature and a balanced ecosystem, and about neighborhood and about teamwork. All of that combined with your lovely hand-drawn, hand-painted art style, this unique project will one day speak for itself. I'm very sure about that. And I hope you and all the other teams had a really nice time at the Games Lift Incubator, that you gathered huge amounts of inspiration and experiences, and that you met lovely companions on the way. I wish you all the best for the future. Have a nice evening and see you soon. Bye.
Thanks to Mareike. And Elin, of course, we have a couple of questions for you as well. We mentioned it a couple of times, what really sets your games apart. One of the things that sets it apart are those hand-painted illustrations. I guess they do make a lot of work, so what do you do to keep that work manageable?
Hi, this is...
Okay, all technical difficulties for Elin today. You're managing awesome.
That's an interesting question. I like to change my art assets digitally, resizing them or changing the color a little bit or just swapping them so they look different to the eye. And in the game it looks like two art pieces, but it's actually just the same. And I also like to reuse art. So recently I painted a tree, and I used the upper parts of the tree to make some bushes out of it. And so I didn't have to paint them separately. And but this is an unusual approach. I always look for good workflows to make this technique efficient.
Yeah, but sounds smart. So we're gonna keep an eye out for those bushes. Maybe we can spot them. Also, I mentioned before you joined Games Lift as a solo team, but you're not working completely alone on the game, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm focusing more on the game design and the art part. And I got help from Tobias Pohlmann, who's here today. And he did a lot of the programming. So without him, this would not have been playable. And yes, it's...
Yeah, so thanks to Tobias as well. And are you planning on expanding the team further in the future, or is it you two?
At the moment we just think about how we want to implement the different mechanics, and once we know what we're doing and what we want to do and what help will we need, we want to expand our team.
Okay, sounds smart. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Team's secret success is that they genuinely enjoy each other's company. Like in their game, working together in a team of 4 is the most important thing. Sarah, Leonard, Maximilian, and Rudi met each other 1.5 years ago at HHW University in Hamburg and have already developed several projects together. Their current project is the result of searching for a bigger challenge, and the progress they made during the incubator to refine, improve their game Metacore proves them right to do so.
Hello everybody, I'm Max and this is Sarah, and together in a team of 4 we are developing a game with the current name Metacore. Metacore is an action co-op shooter where you and up to 3 other friends play together and fight your way through desert temples on a hostile planet. You can transform yourself into a spherical core and let your friends throw you to tactical positions or directly in enemy groups to take them out. Cooperate in the team and use your equipment wisely. To give you a little bit of an insight, we got a trailer for you. Yeah, so what is Metacore all about? You and your crew starts in a spaceship which serves as a player lobby or a player hub, and select there your equipment and prepare for the mission. On the way through the ruin, you get confronted by the planet's defense system. In order to overcome the challenging obstacles and dangerous mechanical guardians, you have to work together and communicate, because every team member has a unique set of skills and equipment which unfolds its full potential only when combined with the team. At the end of every rune, you find high-tech equipment or high-tech resources to upgrade and customize your equipment. The key component of your equipment is the core.
Okay, so you've heard a lot about the cores, but what exactly are these cores? Some of you might have recognized them already in the trailer, but the cores are the small metallic balls that a player can turn into and materialize out of whenever and wherever they want to. The cores have 4 important functions that makes them the most important part of our equipment. As soon as the player turns into a core, they can move around freely in the level, gaining a different perspective. An active core can be picked up by another player and thrown wherever to gain access to hidden entryways or other advantage points. If a player finds themselves in a sticky situation, they can get out of there quickly by being pulled out of there by another player. This effect can also be used the other way around, making full use of our next function, which is the outburst. The outburst is an exit effect that can be activated by any player as soon as they materialize outside of the core again. The exit effect pushes the enemy groups away from the player, making them fall prone on the ground. The whole team can then use this opportunity to unleash their full firepower upon their enemies. The core also functions as a respawn point. In case a team member goes lost due to the heavy fire or any other obstacles that the ruins have prepared for them, an empty core can be thrown to a safe position and then used as a respawn to get back to their team members. The cores are also very individual, meaning that the player selects their abilities, preparing their own loadout and finding the role in the team. How all of this plays out, we will show you now in a small video that we have prepared for you. Okay, during the mission there might be some situations where a tall player can seem to find their way through. But remember, we can turn into a small core and sneak away inside the ruin like that. Another way would be to throw each other to locations where we can't access on our own. Of course, the defense mechanism is prepared for intrusions like these. So in hallways and smaller spaces, we have to get a little bit more creative. Okay, accidents happen, but remember, in case someone goes lost, we have the empty cores to have them respawn close back to us. To prevent accidents from happening again, we have to be smart how we use the special abilities that come along with the core. In combat, there might be some situations where you really want a grenade, right? But if you don't have one, just be one yourself. Okay, now you've seen a few examples how a core can be used and how powerful they are. But there's more. As we go through the missions, we had to overcome various obstacles, right? But in the end, all of it is worth it because we will wait, there's a reward waiting for us in the heart of the ruin. With this high-tech artifact, we can return to the spaceship and upgrade our equipment. Essentially, the cores are what identifies your playstyle, meaning that every function of the core and the core itself have to be customizable. The gathered resources that we got during the run can be transferred into upgrades, also customizing and changing the appearance of a core. A customized, upgraded core can look something like this, for example. Every customization drastically changes the playstyle, making the core more than just a tool.
So you see, it's all about choosing your personal set of equipment that fits you the best to find your own role in the team. Every aspect of the game is from the ground up built for team play. So this is Metacore. But what about the future of Metacore? The incubator program comes to an end, but we are not done yet. Our next goal is to develop a prototype starting next year. And if you want to be up to date about the future of Metacore, then you can follow us under fpscoopgame.com. The incubator program was an amazing journey for us. We learned a lot and had the opportunity to develop our game even further to a whole new level. We want to say thank you to the amazing team at Game City and to the mentors, and thank you for listening.
Please welcome also Leonard and Rudi to the stage to listen to a few words from Aidan from Plan of Attack, congratulating you to successfully finishing the Games Lift Incubator.
Hi, this is Aidan from PR agency Plan of Attack, one of the mentors in the Game City Incubator Program. I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate Max, Leonard, Sarah and Roddy on Metacore, which is shaping up to look like a great looking game already. I've been particularly impressed with their approach to the design process and the fact that they've gone in and refined the game further from what the original concept was, which shows that they're really looking at what the market trends are, what people like to play, what people don't like to play. So they've been able to evaluate that approach from a design level. So that's been really impressive so far. Metacore is a game that really emphasizes team play. So that's been of a particular thing that's really stood out, that the fact that they've looked at how teams play in FPS shooters and their approach. They know what they want, they know what they want to go with it. But it's a very exciting looking game for sure. The dedication to the design process is very admirable as well. They understand the complexities of delivering a unique take on the FPS genre. And I'm very, very excited to where they're going to take it. So I wish you and the team the very best of luck.
Yeah, from us also the very best of luck, but I'm pretty sure you're going to succeed on your way. I just see here, let's get the core rolling. I have a question for you concerning that. Your name is actually pretty common, and I heard that you want to change it. Why didn't that happen yet?
Changing it definitely was on our agenda, but with all of the input that we got from the mentors and from the network, and also like Maxi said, we had a lot of time to develop it further, and we got aware of the importance, how important it is to present yourself on the market and on social media. We have a few strong contenders, but we're not satisfied yet, and we need to do just a little bit more research before we really want to decide on the name, and we want to make sure that we're doing it right. So if any of you guys have any kind of input on that, you're very welcome to come talk to us later.
Yeah, absolutely. A name change really has to be thought through. Another question, on what platform do you plan to release your game?
Oh yeah, so currently we're developing it for the PC first and for Steam, but I say we are open for other platforms like consoles or so, but we see in the future.
Thank you so much. We'll be watching your journey.
Thanks.
So the fifth and final team for tonight was actually one of the first that we chose into the incubator. They came to us with actually not much more than an idea on paper and a few scribbles, but their idea was so fresh and the team was so convincing that we didn't have to think long. We knew we want to have them in the incubator. During the past 3 months, they made high-speed progress on their game. When you see their presentation in a minute, remember they came to us with not much more than an idea on paper. Let's see where Daniel, Annabelle, Lucas, and Susan are now with their game. It's called Stack 'em Up, and Daniel is here to present it to us tonight.
Hey everyone. So we're nearly done for today, this being the last presentation. First, for the next 10 minutes, it's all about Stack 'em Up. So let's get into it. Okay. Jojo. Okay, we have some small technical difficulties. Okay, I figured it out. Yeah. First, what is Stack 'em Up all about? So Stack 'em Up is a multiplayer action party game coming for Switch and PC. You and your friends play as cute animals in space. For example, you compete against each other in short matches, collecting power-ups and fighting your opponents with these. The action happening on one-screen arenas, kind of like, for example, in Overcooked or Super Smash Bros. You can stack other players on top of you, giving the game its name, also beautifully visualized here, and so force them to cooperate with you for some time. And while all this is happening, you try to collect the most points and, especially important, never stop beating the stuffing out of each other. But enough talking. Let's take a quick look into how this all looks in-game, in a small sneak peek into our very first prototype iteration. So there are really two unique points about Stack 'em Up. The first being that players don't actually die while a round is in progress. It basically goes like this. You collect a power-up, you use it to try to stun your opponent with it, and now, if you successfully stunned your opponent, you can absorb them, which you can see right now, or kind of like in Kirby, for example, only in our case, with the help of technology instead of some eldritch magic. And if you are successful, then you stack them on top of you. But even if you get defeated like this, you can still participate in the game. Because even if one is stacked on top of another, like for example the cat in this case, one can still use their power-ups and stun other players. And also get points for it. This means there's no real downtime. Oftentimes PvP games punish players when they die with some downtime, which is often the most frustrating part about them. As we want to be an action party game, we omit the whole dying part and focus purely on the action. The second unique point is the dynamic between being enemies and then being forced to cooperate when you're stacked, and then being enemies again. As mentioned, if you get absorbed, you're temporarily stacked on top of the player that absorbed you. And until the stack falls apart, like you see right now, you're forced to accept the whims of this other player. Basically, you go where he goes. But you still want to participate in the game, as you're still able to get points even when stacked. And of course, if the stack falls apart, this temporary alliance also falls apart. So that is all about the game itself. Now, let's look into what we actually accomplished during the incubator program. Well, everything. Jokes aside, everything you do see here, we actually accomplished in the last 3 months. As Maggie already mentioned, we applied to the program with just the idea of stack 'em up in our heads. In more detail, though. On the production side, we focused on our first map. This went through a lot of iterations, both from a game design and a visual perspective. We also created our first 2 characters, Colonel Puff, the fish, and the cat, which is really only named the cat. On the technical side of things, we now have a working prototype with the aforementioned map implemented, with some first power-ups you can use, and with working online and local multiplayer. Well, really, it's basically everything you already also saw in the trailer. Let's also take a quick look at the marketing side of things. After finishing conceptualizing our first marketing strategy draft, we also started with social media a couple weeks ago, and we are also happy with our progress on this front. It's nothing much, but for having just started, we're happy to say we already have 350 followers on TikTok and 50 members on our Discord. And of course, we'd love to invite all of you tonight who are here or who are watching to our socials as well. So that's about what we did in the past. Now, let's look into the future. The first thing on our agenda is to acquire additional funding so we can actually continue developing. We then want to create a real polished vertical slice from our current prototype, which we then want to use to start searching for a proper publisher to work with. And then, way down the line in 2024, we want to release in early access. We want the game to be feature complete at this point and really only use the early access period for proper balancing on a grander scale, as that's definitely one part of the game that will be really important for the finished product. Well, and that wraps everything up. As mentioned before, be sure to follow us on our socials if you're interested in what we're doing. We'd also love to talk with all of you here today, later more this evening. You can easily spot us. We're wearing these fancy schmancy Stack 'em Up shirts. Thanks for listening, and also a special thank you to the Game City team and to all of the mentors for these awesome last 3 months. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks. We also have Annabelle and Lucas from Team Stack 'em Up on stage to hear a few words from a mentor who's been part of the Games Lift program from practically day 1 3 years ago. We're very happy to have him on the program each year. He never misses out on a meet and greet session, and we know he would have loved to be here in person today to give you his Laudatio, but yeah, he sent us a video. He is Christian Rauder, attorney and partner at Gräf Rechtsanwälte.
Good evening, dear Games Lift audience. Socrates said, "It takes blood, toil, tears, and sweat to produce a fun computer game." This is, of course, a blatant lie. But at the same time, the statement itself is true. When the Godcomplex team applied for the Games Lift Incubator, they were really ready to walk the walk, not only to talk the talk. The game concept profits from the contrast of cute graphics on the one hand and the fierce competition on the other hand. Do not be fooled by the optical style, the fun style, because the other characters in the arena, they're not your friends. However, what I like most about the concept is that somebody who defeated you 5 seconds ago by stunning you and sucking you up suddenly becomes a new ally. This completely changes the dynamics of the game and makes room for variation. The team of Godcomplex worked incredibly hard on the project and tried to get the most out of the sessions with the mentors. The progress the team made was enormous and really impressive. They managed to elevate the project to the next level. I wish the team all the best, and I'm looking forward to playing the game and to see many of you in the arena of Stack 'em Up.
Thank you so much, Christian. And I know he really means what he says when he says he wants to meet you in the arena of Stack 'em Up, because we played Among Us and he's brutal. I give you the mic because we also have a couple of questions to the team. I believe Cornet Puff already has a huge fan base. I'm part of it. You have a couple more characters in plan, right? Do you want to give any of them away, or is it still secret?
Well, we can give some small spoilers. It will be fuzzy. It will have very big cheeks, and will most definitely be cute. And if you want to know more about it, you can check out our TikTok. There are some spoilers there. So yeah.
Smart, bringing people to TikTok. Yeah, a little bit more on the development side. Stack 'em Up is truly a game where the fun depends a lot on good balancing. So how are you planning on tackling this task with a lot of playtesting, or what's your plan there?
Yes. So as we already mentioned, we are aware that balancing will be very, very important for our game. So later on, we want to really playtest with the community, with the players themselves, which can then also give feedback in the game. And now, for the beginning, we are implementing a cloud build system so that we always have the latest build ready. And it's really easy to go somewhere and then let people test it. And because it also it has online and local multiplayer, it's easy to just play with people online, like in our Discord, or locally if someone wants to meet up. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thanks very much, guys. You can sit down again.
Thanks
for your presentations. Yeah. So that actually was the last presentation for tonight. I hope all of you enjoyed it and want to get your hands on those games as much as we do. And to our 5 teams, I want to say it was an awesome pleasure to be working with you those past 3 months. It was truly impressive what progress you all managed to make on your games, all while also attending to the workshops and talking to mentors and working on the business side of making your games, from financing to gathering the first social media followers. For us, it was especially awesome to see how much you connected and how much you supported each other, be it through feedback in the pitching workshops or in late-night Unreal Blueprint noodling sessions that I think have happened as well. Thanks for all the commitment and the dedication you brought into the program.
Also, we want to say thank you to everyone who supported Games Lift as part of our network and as a mentor. Thank you to the whole Game City team, Anna, Annika, Dennis, Helen, and Johannes. To the VR HQ for hosting us tonight, Simon and his crew for the live stream, and to all the guests here tonight and viewers in the stream.
And if you want to get in touch with the Games Lift teams of 2022, if you are here today, you can grab a beer with them in a minute. And if you are watching us online, please go ahead and look at the Miro board. You can find all contact data and contact them whenever you like. Games Lift will be back next year in 2023. If you are interested in applying yourself, go over and head to our homepage. You can find all information there. And yeah, if you want to know when the next application starts in the spring of 2023, subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on social media, or join us at Discord. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great night.